Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. So in today's video, I'm going to go over my team that I used to defeat Amius the Lunar Archon, which is the final boss in the Cursed City. I want to go over to this boss in as basic and layman's terms as possible. There's so much in his kit, there's so much to remember that unless you're really looking at each detail here and there as you're going through it, you're not going to remember everything. So I'm just going to break it down to the key things that you need to remember and the key things in the team that you need to beat this champion. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so here's the final boss for Amius, the Lunar Archon in the Cursed City. So you can see here there are some restrictions here. We can only use Dark Elves, Skinwalkers, Lizardmen. I think this is Barbarian, and then this is Sylvan Watchers. So the key thing with this boss is that you need heal reduction to stop him from healing himself. So the heals really prevent you from completing the boss. You're not going to be able to do enough damage to him. Most people won't be able to do enough damage to him without him getting some heals in. And then obviously you have to survive. So you need a team that can survive his hits. So those are the two kind of main things that you need to consider when you need to deal with this boss. So number one, you need heal reduction. So I have a pretty big roster for this boss with these conditions, so we can look over what champion actually has heal reduction. So this is kind of like a nifty this is where like the filter is actually really good. So you go into the filter and then you want debuff, you want heal reduction, which is, sorry, my eyes, I think it's this one. Yes, this is the one. So this is the one. So you can see here, I'm gonna move my head. There's not too many champions that have heal reduction. You have Ghostborn here, you have Venomage, Coldheart, Scarlord. So the ones that I've seen that have been working have been Venomage, the best, because Venomage actually brings in like additional things like poison. So that's extra damage, as well as triggering poison, which is great at controlling the amount of debuffs on the boss. As well as a decreased attack, decreased defense, which can come in handy once in a while, and I'll explain that as well. Coldheart also works. Coldheart also has a A1 that has a heal reduction. However, you have to make the Coldheart tanky enough to not die, so that's kind of a bit of a problem. And then finally, actually, the one I saw that worked was Scholar Vargal. He has heal reduction on his A1. He also brings decreased attack as well, just in case you guys need it. But his main role will be A1 and then the heal reduction. So I would suggest using these champions if you have them to make this work for you guys for the heal reduction part. So the next thing that you guys probably are looking for is attack down. So you want to find champions that have decreased attack. So here you're going to have more choices. So you want to bring champions that have additional benefit to your team. So Mighty Uko has Revive, he has Speed Lead, he has Attack Down as A1, which is really good. Nekmo, similar, however no Revive. And he does bring like other debuffs as well and speed up on your team, which isn't really necessary, and sometimes you don't really want to speed up, like Termir boost. I think Jareg can kind of work because he does bring an A1, Attack Down. He does bring ally protection. I feel like Jareg has a chance to be really good against this boss as well. I haven't seen him used strictly for his A1 or his ally protection. However, I think he does slot in pretty good into that spot. And I'll kind of go over it here again. Venomage brings the attack down, but assuming you have Venomage, you're going to use her anyways because she has the heal reduction, which is more important. You could use the Rat. The Rat does bring some damage against the boss. However, the complaint about the Rat is that the Rat does fill up the debuff bar on the champion quite fast, and then might even block out the heal reduction. So it's not really ideal. Madame Cirrus, I've seen Madame Cirrus used. She has a strip with the attack down, which is actually a pretty interesting kind of kit. And then obviously there's other champions that are going to be able to fit in with the attack down as well. But you also want them to have additional things like survivability or heal reduction. So Venomage, considering she has both, is probably the best option for the attack down and the heal reduction coverage. So after that, in terms of team building, you can kind of go wherever. The best case is you have one ally protection champion, and you have a very tanky team, and then you have a couple cleansers. The best champion here is actually Mithrala. She brings the damage, right? So she brings the damage you need for a team. She brings A1 poisons. She doesn't necessarily need to use her shields or the hex ability, just A1, but the cleansing and the shield does come in handy. Okay, so Mithrala, if you have her, she's going to go in this team 100%. Moving on from that, I used Elva. So I used Elva. She comes with a cleanse with a speed up on it, as well as bringing additional heals in her kit. She also has a revive as well, so just in case something goes wrong with your team. Lastly, Pythion actually does really well in this team as well. His A1 heals your team, so you're going to need a way to heal up, and his passive protects your team, and he brings a cleanse as well. And then lastly, it's kind of a flex spot. I ended up using Uko because he brings the consistent A1 attack down with the revive. However, you could probably replace Uko with Jareg, and it would actually be pretty good, I think, because Jareg brings passive heal, ally protection, defense up, and an A1 attack down. So I think Jareg actually would be pretty good in this type of team. So you have three cleansers, and then you have, obviously lots of revives, protection, and all that stuff. If you don't have Jareg, like an upgrade over Jareg would be like Krisk. Krisk is going to be like super good. He brings like attack down and all that stuff. The problem with the attack down is if there's a part where the Archon will convert his debuffs into buffs. So if he has attack down during that phase, he will put attack up on himself. So this is kind of where like Uko is actually kind of good, because Uko doesn't fear that part. So Uko can remove that with his strip, right? So if that is the case, you can remove it with the strip, and then it's all good. The other thing is you don't run another attack down champion, or at least another attack down A1 champion, and then you just run Venom Mage with the attack down and the heal reduction. Okay, so there are some ways to build this. Like I tried some teams with Visix. Visix works very well as well. She has the ally protection, which is totally good. She's tanky, so she definitely works here as well. But obviously the key damage dealers will be poison damage and brimstone damage. So if you have anybody with brimstone, you gotta put them in this team. So this is also the reason why I was using Uko, because Uko has a 4-star brimstone on my account. And then obviously Mithrala. And then these two are kind of staples. Like you could remove Elva. She's not really necessary. She's just there for kind of like cleansing ability. You don't need constantly having cleanses, obviously. But she can be removed for somebody else as well. The only staples in this team is probably this. I would say this is pretty good. You could even remove Pythion if you have somebody else as an option. But these two are very, very hard to replace effectively. Like I said, you could use Skullord Vargal with the A1 heal reduction, very strong, similar to this, but like because it's an A1, it's going to be always on, and then when he swaps those debuffs, it's going to turn into a continuous heal, which might not be the best, but then he can apply the heal reduction again with his A1. Anyway, you guys will see how it works, but let's jump into a video that I just did. So like I said, I went over the options for team building, went over some of the basics of this boss. You need heal reduction, you need attack down. That's pretty much it, and then a team that kind of just survives. And brimstone, you definitely need brimstone for some damage. Yeah, so let's jump into this fight. I'll pause it as we go. So this is one of my recorded successful runs. So we start here. So I'm going to just pause it, right? So I'm going to start here. So the first stage, he usually opens with his A2, which is the part where he heals up. Okay, so we're going to let him heal since he's at full health anyway, so we're just going to A1 through this. So the key part that you guys need to remember in this fight, is you need to put the heal reduction after he uses this ability, the A3. So after he uses the A3, you use the heal reduction, and then when he uses his A2, then he won't be able to heal. Alright, that's pretty much it. And then when this timer, the 4-turn timer here, when it becomes 1, you have to have an attack down on him, because he's going to transform and then wipe your team if you don't have attack down. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you guys can just follow those 2 rules, there's obviously many like little details against this boss, but if you can follow those 2 rules, you'll eventually beat this boss. All right, so let's see what happens here. Like I said, he's going to open with his A2, so it's a little bit different. Usually he leads with his A3 and then he goes to A2, but only in the opening will he open with his A2. So let's watch this. So you're going to play block debuffs. If you have block debuffs up, you'll protect yourself from getting stunned by his A3. Okay, so Elbow goes with the block debuffs. We're just going to A1 here, start putting in the damage. We got the Brimstone on, activating poisons, healing up. And there comes his A3. His A3. Alright, so he's switched the attack down into the attack up. So this is like a bit of a problem. If you were running like, you know, uncontrollable A1 attack downs. So, but with Uko is not a big problem because he can strip it. Alright. So Brimstone did land there. So we're gonna go Uko, strip. Alright, so after this, it should be all gravy here. We have 2 turns until he transforms. He's just gonna be using his A1. His A1 does heal him, but because he has his heal reduction, he won't be able to heal off of it, okay? So we're just bringing the pain now. We're just bringing the pain, okay? Alright, see his heal? His heal did not heal him. Just bringing the pain, alright? We have a chance to land the attack down. So if Uko in this team does not land the attack down, we use Venomage's attack down ability to put it on as well, okay? It's very important to have the attack down through this transformation, because I believe he has an extra turn, an extra attack. So you want a 2-turn attack down, okay? So let's watch this. You don't want block debuffs because he's going to strip that when he transforms. All right. So transforms, sleeps everyone, slams. His slam is pretty weak, right? His slam is not actually doing that much damage to us with the attack down. Okay. Brimstone lands, and now, you know, right now it's basically bring the pain. So right now it's like buff up your team, survive, do what you need to do to, you know, not die. Because if you lose a champion, if he kills a champion, he takes an extra turn, and then it's just gonna be a mess. Okay, and then it's gonna be hard to recover, but you can still recover and salvage the run, even if you lose champions. But you're basically just losing a lot of progress on your time. So we cleanse up. And we're just doing the pain, right? Mithrala's doing the pain here. Attack down. That's good. Attack down is very good. See, with the attack down, it actually doesn't do that much damage. If the attack down is not there, guarantee you this Uko is dead. Okay? So it's important to have this attack down. If you don't have this attack down, you could have ally protection. Because ally protection will mitigate some of this damage. Shields, I believe this attack will go through shields. It goes through all defense, so you can't really out mitigate it, but this can help the attack down. You still need to be pretty tanky though. Alright, so Pythion, very important there, healing up. You can use other champions, right? Like I think Oella would work. Oella has really strong healing abilities, so she can definitely top up your team if it's low. She also boosts resistance too. You could out resist this champion. I believe resistance is about 650. That's probably what you're looking for to start to resist this guy. So you can definitely build a resistance team. But you'll see from my team and gear that I actually didn't put too much effort into building this team. I just kind of slapped it together. So you see here he uses his A3, which actually stuns our team. So I should have had block debuffs up, but I didn't have it. Or I did and I didn't use it. So I'm just going to use Mithrala. Mithrala's cleanse, just to bring back everybody. Alright, so right now is the best time to put the heal reduction, because just before he lands the A2, and then after that we bring the pain, right? So we do a continuous heal reduction, and now we just bring the pain. We got 2 turns of damage coming in. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's still something. Hoping to land Brimstone, of course. We're gonna save the cleanses. He's trying to heal, he can't. Next turn he's going to transform, so we make sure we have attack down. We want the 2-turn attack down there. There it is. This time we have to use Mithrala, just in case we didn't have to, because Ukko's gonna get a turn here. Alright, so he transforms, strips our stuff, puts us to sleep, slams us. Not that much damage, right? There you see, not a lot of damage with the attack down. Alright, so now we just bring the pain. So we just bring the pain now. So we refresh. We cleanse here. Yep, attack down. Attack down is very good. We had to land that attack down. If we did not land that attack down, we probably lose Ukko, and then this run probably goes sideways pretty quick. At least it would have wasted a bunch of time, but there it is. So if you had like an ally protection champion or something, this would have been a good spot to have it up after he has everything on cooldown. So, all right. So we're trying to bring back Ukko. All right. So again, we should have had the cleansing. We should have had the block debuffs up before his big turn here, his A3. And we need to have the continuous heal applied right now because he's going to use his A2. I think we want Ukko back, so we're going to wake him up from his stun. Nope, we don't. That might be a mistake. That's a pretty big slam because he does have the attack up here. Almost wipes our team. However, in his first stage, the healing stage, he actually doesn't do insane amount of damage. So even with the attack up, he didn't kill our team. So, alright. So I want to speed up here. That's probably why I'm using Elva's cleanse. Okay, I need to heal up my team. We don't have attack down yet. However, we got 2 turns before he transforms, so we're going to remove the attack down from him first. Looks like it was a good decision. Our team was pretty low there. So here we're going to use the A2, make sure he has the attack down going into his transformation. And I think we're going to be okay. Just doing some damage here. Alright, so he strips and sleeps. Oh, and he actually kills off one of our champions here. So here, I'm not too sure what happened. I think Elva was maybe a little bit low. Let's dial it back here. He does have the attack down applied, and he still gets the 1-shot here on Elva. So he gets the extra turn here. You guys will see it, the extra turn. He's gonna do all this stuff, use his cooldowns and stuff. So a lot of damage coming in, but our team's still alive, which is really good. So a little bit scary there, but luckily we have an extra reviver or 2. And I believe we'll bring her back. We'll start doing the A1 with the attack down. And everything is kind of okay now. Everything is kind of okay. So the attack down allowed Ukko to stay alive. You know what? Let me check here. How did Elva die? Maybe Elva died because he had too many debuffs. Not 100% sure. Alright. So, anyways, the team comes back and it hasn't really missed a beat. So, having the 2 revivers here is really good. Alright, so we're getting kind of close here. Attack down is applied. Poison. Transforms, uses his stun ability. And then we just land the heal reduction. So we must cleanse to bring back Venom Mage. We must put the heal reduction on. Otherwise this run's gonna like double in time, right? Alright. Alright, so now we're just bringing the pain. We got 2 turns until he transforms. He's trying to heal, he can't. Not doing any damage to us in this healing form, his base form. Heals up again. Pretty close to killing him. Transforms. Sleeps. Attacks. With the attack down, not doing a lot of damage to us. Okay. I think we probably are okay here. Alright. So what happened here is one of the most annoying things about this guy's kit. So let's see what happened. I'm gonna go. I think I touched it here. So you basically cannot kill him during when he's off the moon. So basically the eclipse left, and then the poisons ticked him down. He died, and when he died, his passive activated, which revives him with 30% HP and 50% turn meter or something. So you have to kill him when this red eclipse is up behind him. So if any of you guys are seeing how annoying this can be, especially with Brimstone RNG, it can definitely prolong your run. And also, the transformation of this guy really should have been like a different visual, so it makes it more obvious which form he is in. Because even though he is in this eclipse stage, he's not necessarily in attack mode. Because then, to me, like when you look at the eclipse red stage or the red background, it looks like he's more menacing. But he's not necessarily in attack form, even with the red background. So a little bit annoying here. I touch upon it here. You see his passive. Yeah, you see his passive that I'm highlighting. He is brought back with 30% HP and 50% turn meter when he's killed under the eclipse buff. So under the eclipse buff. Sorry, when he's under the eclipse buff. So exactly the opposite of what I just said. So when he's under the eclipse buff, he cannot be killed. So very, very annoying. But this is, you guys can get the gist of the rotation. This is not a perfect run by any chance. I mean, we had Elba died, but we kind of showed that this team recovered pretty quickly. And of course the boss was killed at the wrong time. So not a perfect run by any means, but you see we can still get the job done here. So we're just following the same rotation, guys. The key thing is to have attack down when he transforms, and to have to have the heal reduction applied before his A2 is placed. Those are the key notes in this battle. After that, you just have cleansing, survivability, brimstone. That's it, and then just let the RNG do it. The other important thing to note in this team, you have to have a pretty good survivability. If you don't have Pytheon, for example, Pytheon's passive is really good at keeping damage reduction. You're not going to be able to like outstat this guy because he does ignore defense. So ally protection is really good, damage reduction, attack down. Those are the ways you can mitigate the extra damage. Okay. So he's off the eclipse debuff. Oh my goodness, he's off the eclipse debuff. I think this is it. And there he goes. He's off the eclipse buff. Sorry. So he doesn't have the eclipse buff here, and then he's down. All right. So you see here, my best run was actually 5 minutes. It actually probably should have been like 4 minutes because I took a break during it, but it was 5 minutes. I only done this 3 times with this team. I think I did it like 3 out of 4 tries or something. So it's very, very consistent. It has all the elements. It's very safe. However, the gear might scare you guys a little bit. So I'll go over the gear here in 1 second. Wait, and I'll show you guys my quick victory screen of what I actually got. So this is my victory screen. So my first time I did it in 19 minutes because it took me a while just to like manual through everything without knowing what was really happening. But anyways, I'll go over the champions right now. All right, so let's go over some of the champions that I was using for his team. So I got Uko here. Uko is basically in my arena build. The only thing I changed about him was adding a accuracy banner. So I took off his resistance banner and added accuracy banner, and I wanted him to be as tanky as possible. I mean, I think this is bare minimum 67k. You're probably looking at 70k for most of your champions to not totally die. So you kind of saw that our team was pretty safe at the health threshold. Uko is one of the lowest HP champions on the team at 67k. So just something to pay attention to. If you have War Master, it does a little bit extra damage. You definitely want Brimstone if you have Brimstone because he has the accuracy to apply it. Versus this boss, you're looking at 450, 475 accuracy at least. I would say at least 450. at least 450. 475 you feel a little bit safer. And another stat threshold is 250 speed. So the boss goes 250 speed. Ideally you want to keep up with the boss going turn for turn with him. Just something to consider as well. If you go faster, that's totally fine. You notice that most of the damage comes from the A1 anyway, so you'll just be sitting on your skills off cooldown anyway, so you don't need to be extremely fast, and you don't even need to be 250 speed, to be honest. Like if you're just using A1s, you don't necessarily need to be that quick. However, you know, being quick means you get more turns, meaning you might get more healing, you might get more A1s, more attack downs, and so forth. So definitely aim for about 250 speed. I was using a speed aura, so I could have went a little bit lower on my stats, but it's in my arena build, so I'm not going to change anything otherwise. After that, here's my Mithrala. She's in my arena build as well. Didn't change anything on her. She just naturally has enough accuracy to land her debuffs, naturally over 250 speed. I have her in Brimstone because I do use her in Hydra, some PvP content. She's in Eagle Eye. So if you have War Master, for example, she's going to deal a little bit more damage. But yeah, that's my Mithrala. You don't need her to be in like regen or anything. After that, Pythion, same thing. He's in my arena build. He's like my slowest champion, I think, at 248. He's here mainly for big HP, so big A1 heals, and a cleanse. That's about it. He has counterattack, one counterattack accessory, so he can land his land some more A1s for extra heals. Masteries doesn't matter, it's arena masteries. If you have War Mastery, it's going to do a little bit more damage. Venom Mage. So Venom Mage, obviously one of the most important champions, probably the most important champion in this boss fight. You want her good HP, you don't want her to die. So at least 70k, 65k I would say. 250 speed again, and then proper accuracy to land her stuff. I have actually no War Master on her. If you have War Master, she's going to do a bit more damage. I have Phantom Touch so that she can do a little bit more damage. However, it's going to be pretty negligible compared to like Brimstone or even War Master for that. You definitely need to book her because you need the debuff chances, you need the cooldowns. Yeah, so definitely. And then our last pick was actually Elva. Elva wasn't 100% necessary. She does bring speed up, so you get an extra, you know, you might be able to get like an extra turn every 5 turns or something with Elva's speed up, and then Elva's aura, of course. But we were using Uko's aura. So she was like, yeah, she's in my arena build, 300 speed. She's fast, not necessary, of course. All this stuff, fully booked, not necessary. If you have, you know, you won't have Brimstone on her because she doesn't have accuracy, and then she's in arena mastery. So yeah, anyways guys, that's gonna be the team. I think it's, you know, this is a very safe, consistent team. If you guys don't have these champions, I've suggested some suggestions that might work. The heal reduction requirement is actually quite difficult for the factions that we have. Like I said, Cold Heart, popular one. Venom Mage is a premium one, and then Skull Lord Valgal also works as well. Yeah, and then apply attack down. Make sure you have a tanky team with ally protection. If you guys are really strapped for champions, try Visix, try Jorag. These are very good cheapo champion, cheapo options. Oella could work. I've seen Valk used. Valk could work too. Extra damage from the counterattack. So yeah, I think this boss is like overly complicated, but in terms of like stat requirement, not too bad. In terms of chat requirement, a little bit restricted, but you know, we are given like Mithrala, which is hella MVP against this in this fight. But yeah, anyways guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are doing against this guy. Definitely a very daunting challenge. However, once you break it down, it's actually not too bad. So hopefully I did a good job here at explaining this as thoroughly as possible, and actually at making it as simple as possible, I'm hoping. I hope I didn't run too quickly through some details that I'm missing. Let me double check. One last note. This note here. When an enemy decreases its skills cooldown with artifact, accessory, mastery, or skill, decrease cooldown of Archon's Ascendance by 1 turn. So this could potentially throw off your rhythm if you get an unlucky proc with something. For example, Could be a mastery, could be a refresh accessory. So definitely be a little bit careful about that. I mean, I think the mastery that can do it would be Cycle of Magic, 5% chance. Yeah, so Cycle of Magic can do it, and obviously a refresh accessory, so refresh ring, for example, that could do it. So those are like small amount of chances that might throw off a run. It's not gonna kill your run most likely, but it's gonna throw off the rhythm of your run. So that's something to definitely look out for. For me personally, I didn't change any of my masteries from any content in the game, and it worked out perfectly fine. I did have 5% Cycle of Magic on my Uko, not on my Pythion, not on my Mithrala. Maybe I just don't take this mastery that often. Metamage, I had no masteries. Elva, I did have Cycle here as well. So 2 champions with Cycle, didn't proc for me, didn't mess up. Maybe it did proc, I don't know, but it didn't mess up the run. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the last detail in this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys like the content, if you guys appreciate the content, if you guys learned something today. I do appreciate it as always, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.